Hello and welcome to Old Man Yellow Cloud. I'm Christopher and I'm here once again with my sturdy and promising cohorts, Jim.
Fuck.
And Patrick.
Yeah, I did make a promise to you, didn't I?
Well, I've been reading this book of Icelandic sagas recently, and when introducing any character with any sort of positive traits about them, they refer to them as promising. He had a fine, sturdy, and promising son named Olaf.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they fucking cash that check, who cares?
So I want to bring back promising because I think you guys are promising in your own ways.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
I am a grower, not a shower.
Yeah. Today on the docket, we're going to discuss The Cure's 1989 Disintegration, or the album that confirmed my descent into sad boy territory. We're joined for this discussion by Rob Sistare, who I thought was named Zoop for the probably first 3 times we met.
That could have been over a long period of time, too.
Yeah, probably was. How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
Every day's a gift.
That's what they say.
That is what they say.
Not all gifts are welcome.
Yes.
This one's good, though. This one's good. We'll take it.
All right, cool. So just going to do a little bit of background super quick. In 1988, The Cure had played nearly a decade together to varying successes, most notably with 1987's Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me and 1985's The Head on the Door.
Blow me, blow me, blow me.
Oh, yeah, real mature, Jim. Real mature.
Hey, have you not listened to this program before?
Yes. I have not. I have never heard this show. Where are my pants?
You're doing it right. Also doing it right with no pants.
Yes. 2 consecutive albums with multiple pop hits. Singer Robert Smith was approaching his 30th birthday, and as he reflected on this, he began to think that many of his favorite musicians and influences produced their masterwork before that age. So he set about penning an album that he felt would stand the test of time. Breaking away from the tradition of the past few albums, Smith began to write the bulk of the material that would make up the album alone. Those bassist Simon Gallup and keyboardist Lawrence Tallhurst notably contributed songs and ideas as well. Smith's dismal outlook on aging began to take its toll, and he began abusing psychedelic drugs. The end result was one of the darkest albums of The Cure's career, and one that is often cited when the band is described as goth. When they entered Hook End Manor to begin recording, there was a good amount of tension. A fire broke out in Smith's bedroom in the manor, leading to several completed sets of lyrics being lost. Keyboardist Lawrence Tallhurst, the only remaining original member of The Cure besides Smith, spent the bulk of the sessions too drunk to work and watching MTV, while the rest of the band taunted him and made him a target of mockery. Tallhurst would be notified following the completion of the album that he was no longer a member of The Cure and was replaced by former Thompson twin and longtime Cure associate Roger O'Donnell. Disintegration was released on May 2nd, 1989, and although initial praise was mixed to positive, hindsight has been very kind to the album's reception. In a retrospective review for AllMusic, Stephen Thomas Erlewine, a good friend of Patrick's, gave Disintegration a 4.5 out of 5 stars, and applauded the band by saying, "The Cure's gloomy soundscapes have rarely sounded so alluring, and the songs, from the pulsating, ominous Fascination Street to the eerie, string-laced lullaby, have rarely been so well-constructed and memorable." And noted indie rock Stick in the Mud, Pitchfork, declared the album was indeed Smith's magnum opus when they awarded it the slot of 38th Best Album of the 80s. And in Rolling Stone's 2012 500 Greatest Albums of All Times list, Disintegration landed at 326 in the same general area as Radiohead's In Rainbows, Liz Phair's Exile in Guyville, and David Bowie's Station to Station. And probably most notably of all, Kyle Broflovsky from South Park said that Disintegration is the best album ever.
Yes, I remember that.
You know, when you were talking about the lyrics getting burnt up in the fire, I thought you were going to say he wrote the lyrics while the building was burning. Like,
this is perfect symbolism. Because that's how he talks. He doesn't have an English accent. He just talks like a creep.
Spoke on the water. Oh, fuck. It's already a song.
Fuck, no, Robert. No. Bad Robert. Yeah, he talks in the third person as well.
Yeah.
Cool, so why don't we go around the horn and just get this shit in motion. Patrick, what is your favorite song from this collection of songs?
All right, so there was a toss-up for me. I was going to go with Fascination Street, but upon hearing it tonight, I'm going to go with the title track, Disintegration. I really like the soundscape picture that it paints, where, coming off those two, that really dismal side A of the second disc there, where it kind of gives you a little more pep. I really like the use of, they're using the same progression over and over throughout the song, and but like bringing in different hooks, different guitar lines, different things that kind of give it motion. That there's that like sort of syncopated keyboard riff that just sort of pops out of nowhere at one point. Yeah, that shit's so good. Just adds that like perfect chord tension on top of it.
That's pretty common throughout the course of this album. Is that they'll really milk one riff for all it's worth. They'll get any melody that they can possibly get on top of it that works, and it feels like they just jammed on it for like 4 days.
There was some serious milking going on, like chafe nipple milking.
My favorite kind. And obviously, like the lyrics are just like so, beautifully goopily gothy, and like, just paints a perfect picture of a relationship gone horribly, horribly dark and wrong.
Yeah, it is the kind of like a lot of the lyrics on this album are the sort of thing that you don't listen to it, you read it while you're sitting by a fireplace in your study sipping red wine and contemplating.
Got incense going and shit.
Exactly. Rob, how's about you? What's your favorite?
I was also thinking Disintegration. I've been kind of thinking about it a lot the last couple of days because I've been listening to the whole album a whole bunch leading up to kind of coming in here, and it's put me in a good place the last week or two. It's been kind of a crazy year, so it's just sometimes it's just fucking feels so good to hear some depressing music. Sometimes. Everything's shitty and it makes you feel fucking good.
We're kind of halfway through October now. We're winter's upon us,
right? All right, so it's like at least I don't feel that bad,
hey guys, winter is coming. Do you get it? Like the show?
Oh yeah, like
that. Like
Shut
the
the
program.
fuck up, Christopher.
Hey guys, you ever heard of?
It's more ominous line in the books, dude.
Hey, you guys ever heard of Fortnite? The video game Fortnite?
Oh,
Yeah.
that's fun. Yeah.
That's all my boss talks about.
Guess what? What about?
Not him specifically. He's just like, my fucking son won't stop playing fucking Fortnite. I leave to go to work. He's playing fucking Fortnite. I come home. He's playing Fortnite. I'm going to
Right.
throw the fucking Fortnite at the fucking window.
So it's a
digital copy.
so all right. So we can agree it's a very popular game.
Yeah.
Fortnite is a very popular game. So what if? Ready?
Yep.
Fork knife. Like the utensils.
If that doesn't exist already, TM.
Oh yeah. Right. Hashtag fork knife.
Hashtag fork knife.
Guys, I was on the edge of my seat for Fart Night, so
Fork knife.
Yeah,
Oh,
fork
my
knife.
God.
That's actually way better than it should be.
yeah. That's knifey spoony levels of awesomeness right there.
Yeah. Good
Somebody
stuff.
quick, register forkknife.com.
But yeah, Disintegration. I don't know. I think it's that driving bass line. It's magic.
It really is.
It's just there's this, especially after the previous two songs, which are kind of like extra depressing before Disintegration. I feel like Disintegration opened up side 4 of this re-release that we were listening to, and it's side 3 is really dark and slow and kind of like. I don't know. But since I'll answer similarly, Patrick changed his choice while listening, so I'm not going to change my choice. But I was thinking that Fascination Street was another favorite. While listening to tonight,
You guys are like little twinsies.
But it's just that it's the dancey thing. It rocks. It rocks. It's got that driving thing. That move to the beat line makes me really happy. It's great. I don't know. They're both great tunes. I think either one of them are really competing, and that says a lot because Love Song really does want to steal it. I mean, it's a deserved, timeless single.
The obvious single, James.
My favorite song is going to be Lullaby.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
Another great track, yeah.
You'll have to forgive Jim. He just crawled here from the swamp.
No, I think it was the first song I think I heard where I was like, this is fucking grooving. It's fucking grooving. Fuck. Yeah, grooving like fuck.
Now, actually, I had a question for you about this album. Because a lot of like the diehard Cure fans out there basically don't consider the current Cure to be the Cure. And the reason for that is because the drummer who played on this album is no longer in the band. Even though the drummer that they have now, I would argue, is possibly better. And he's been in the band for a lot longer now. But I just didn't know, was there anything about this drummer that stuck out to you as a percussionist?
There were a couple points where I kind of dug what he was doing as far as like tom work and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm not that familiar with the Cure. I mean, my knowledge of the Cure kind of ends with Fried I Am in Love and Love Song.
Yeah, he's kind of a, like, to me, a very like boilerplate post-punk drummer.
That's kind of what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of like 16ths on the hi-hat at points, but then like also doing a lot of like, Joy Division-esque tom fills and shit like that.
Yeah, he plays
and a lot of it is about the production of the drums too.
He plays on Wish as well, and Kiss Me, Kiss Me, Kiss Me, and The Head on the Door. So he plays on that whole selection, and then he played on Burn on the Crow soundtrack. But then he was out.
Best song ever.
Burn is pretty. It's a pretty
Maybe
good
not
song.
ever. It's a good song. I like it a lot.
Is that on the first Crow?
Yeah, the first song on the first Crow
the
soundtrack.
only Crow, and really, let's not go back and watch it because then there'll be no Crow. It's some things don't hold up, guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the special effects on the Crow are a nightmare. If you watch it, it's just like Jesus Christ.
Nice soft focus on like 75% of these scenes.
Yep. Yeah. A lot of things just don't make the jump to HD very well, and The Crow is one of those projects.
One time, my friend Kayla was showing me a picture, and it was dark, and for some reason she just showed me a picture of Andrew WK, and I was like, what the fuck are you showing me that right now? Is that the fucking Crow?
He's the new Crow. What's his name? Died.
Crow got buff.
Brandon Lee.
He just wants to party, bro.
I thought you were gonna say the new Crow, Sting. That was the wrestler, right?
Anyways, I have a statue of the Crow in my house now because you gave it to me as a joke.
Life size?
Yes, it's a life-size statue of Brandon Lee.
That's the gentleman's name I was
It's
thinking
actually
of.
Brandon Lee. I had him stuffed, and
Oh, that's dark. I was going to make a joke about you drilling a hole in the
this is a
statue,
dark
but I don't think I
episode.
can make that joke anymore.
there's already a hole there.
Oh, Jesus.
It's a real doll.
No, not like this.
This took a very crass turn.
I saw Bill Burr at the Garden this past weekend, and he did a bit on like before the internet and before you could just like go to your computer and watch porn for free. You had to like go to a store and buy a doll, and he went through the whole process of that, like sitting in your car, like psyching yourself up to like go into the store and get the doll, and then like running out and be like, I got it.
Like an inflatable sex doll.
Yeah.
What I really enjoy on a similar topic was on the episode of How Did This Get Made on No Holds Barred. Thomas Lennon, the guest, and Jason Mantzoukas were talking about how there was always porn in the woods when you were a kid.
Woods porn.
Yeah, and it's the sort of thing. I think, has everyone at this table right now, say yes or no, found porn in the woods?
Oh,
Yes.
I found woods porn.
Yes.
I don't think I have. I heard a really great story about
When were you born?
86.
Okay, yeah, that actually explains the cutoff perfectly, honestly.
Yeah, it's probably about right, yeah.
I think we're probably the tail end of the woods porn age group generation.
It was like a
whatever
stash
we
of them.
are.
Yeah, it's so weird how it was always there.
It was always there, or was always like, okay, there's like an extra piece of furniture in like your friend's garage, and like you open it up and it's just full of penthouse.
I remember.
And hustlers.
I remember.
Yeah, I mean, that's where they stash it, but...
Yeah.
I used to go over my friend Mike's house when I was young. I think like 5th grade, and he'd be like, come back here to my dad's like special room. There would just be like fucking crates of porn.
A porn room.
Yeah, it would be like cracking up, like looking at the covers
So like
of the
when the parents bought the house, they needed to get a specific number of rooms.
Well, it was in the basement.
We
Okay.
need a den for your father.
Yeah, I
Your
think
father's
Pornography.
Uh-oh.
What'd you do, Jim?
Nothing.
All right, don't do that again.
I don't think that generation needed to count the number of rooms they wanted back then. I think it was just kind of like, all right, well, we want to buy a house, and here's this one or that one or that one or that one, and they're all kind of within our budget because, like, everybody's rich back now because like money doesn't cost anything.
Houses cost $6,000.
Do we want the seven room house or the 9-room house with the 3-car garage?
Well, if we do the 3-car garage, then I can use one of those slots since we only have 2 cars to store my porn.
Yeah,
hey, honey.
One porn room, one porn garage.
Hey, honey, let's buy a waterbed.
So speaking of
fucking like those.
Speaking of blow up dolls, I heard this story, and I mean I don't know how accurate it is, but I guess this guy was like living alone, and he had a doll, and he was like not doing so well, like he lost his job and shit, and he couldn't afford his apartment. So his daughter was like,
He couldn't afford his doll.
he couldn't afford his doll anymore.
I'm sorry, sweetheart, you've got to go.
So his daughter was like, all right, you can come live with my
Never
husband
eats her
tonight.
meals when I take her out.
So he's like, oh shit, all right, I got to get rid of this doll. So he took it out into the woods, and he like buried it or something, and somebody like found it and thought it like didn't like investigate further, just saw like a fucking hand sticking out of the ground or something,
Oh
and
my
called the
God.
cops, and then the cops fucking came, and then there was like a DNA test or something, and
So this all over it has like modern urban legend written all over it.
oh, probably.
Is okay.
I
mean,
like I said, I don't know how.
it's a great story, but it's I can't believe that something that wonderful would actually happen in our world.
And I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Oh my God, we should make a video of that. That's just like cuts of like just fucking different depraved acts of humanity.
I'm sure it's been done.
Yeah, probably. All right, so
What's your favorite song?
My favorite is I'm gonna go for a twofer again, only because Disintegration was what I was gonna pick. Because that's one of my favorite songs ever. And I
it's really good.
When my cat died in 2003, I turned this on and sang along to it really loud. It's that kind of song. It's a when your
man, I
cat
know.
dies kind of song.
Disintegration.
Yeah.
Is when he sang. I can see that. Because
Yeah.
like. One thing I wanted to say about that song specifically is that at the end of the song, at the last verse, or I think it's the last verse or the last chorus, I think it's the last verse, it just sounds like he's emotionally losing it while he's singing it.
Yeah.
And he kind of sounds like that a lot, but like more so.
Yeah.
So I
it's more of a trajectory in that song than a lot of others.
Yeah, it's almost like he's crying. His
Yeah.
voice is really breaking
Right.
up
Yeah.
at that point.
But instead, I'm gonna go with my alternate for that, which is Untitled. And Untitled, I think, is just a very good closing track to this album. I don't know how else you would end this fucking behemoth as opposed to just a song with harmonium and a little bass line. And
My note on this song was, ooh, a China cymbal.
It's like the end of like I feel like every British band has to have an album that ends with that like harmonium or air organ sound or whatever. You know?
yeah, like
Rick
today.
The end of the wall ends that way. Radiohead's motion picture soundtrack.
Yep, yep.
Those are the examples that came up in my head. There's a million more guys. Like every British album has an album.
I'm pretty sure like Talk Talk probably does it at one point.
Yeah, almost definitely.
Yeah.
Actually, every song does that.
Yeah, it's like the beginning of every
it's like
Talk Talk
all
song.
of album 5 and 6, right?
Yeah,
there.
exactly. All of Laughing Stock.
Cool. All right, Patrick, least favorite.
My least favorite track was Plain Song.
Interesting.
Yeah, I just it drags. It's boring. I don't think it needed to be 5 minutes. I would have liked a kind of short intro and then right into Pictures of You, because that song feels like such a killer intro to me. I usually skip past the first track.
Wow.
Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
That's it.
Zoop, what you got?
Ooh. It's probably Prayers for Rain. I like the song, but it's extra whiny and it just drags. It's so long. It's one that I'm probably more likely to just track forward about like 2 minutes into 7 or 8.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough.
Great. It's too depressing. I'm just like, nope. Let's move on. Let's go. Let's get to Disintegration. Let's go.
Yeah. So you mean Sam Deepwater is You?
No. I know we're gonna get that next.
Oh,
but
okay.
I still think Prayers for Rain is the one that let's move it along, guys.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, like how on podcasts you could skip ahead 15 seconds. I kind of wish they had that on Spotify or something like that. I actually do like Prayers for Rain quite a bit. I'll get into that later.
Jimbo.
My least favorite's going to be Same Deep Water as You.
Kiss me goodbye. Pushing out before I sleep.
It's too fucking long.
Yeah.
Like I checked out like fucking halfway through that song.
You know what that song reminds me of is you ever take a nap in the afternoon and you realize that you should probably be waking up and like you kind of start to wake up a little bit but you just fall back asleep.
I did
and,
that fucking Saturday.
I did that
just
today.
keeps happening and like it,
And then
it
you
takes
just
you
sleep
like,
till fucking 9 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
Every day I can.
that's what that song reminds me of. It's the audio version of that feeling.
Of like, yeah, just like a rainy Sunday and fucking,
And it's just like I could do shit but I'd rather sleep.
or like wake up from a nap and like you don't even know what fucking time it is.
Yeah, exactly. My least favorite is going to be Homesick. I think just at that point in the album, it's a really cool song instrumentally. I like it a lot. I just don't think that the vocals are really pushing it as much as they do on the rest of the album. And I would have liked a little bit more out of Bobby at this point. But frankly, I think that the album could probably have done without this song, just in its flow, and this would have been a killer B-side.
I could, I could see that as being your choice there. I really like I think the piano sits really nice in that song. Where the previous 3 or 4 tracks, there's so much synth.
Yeah.
And it's such a nice departure at that point. Like
Yeah.
it's still them, you know.
Yeah.
But it just feels a little it feels a little more uplifting after the previous 3 or 4 like sludge depressing tracks.
Yeah, it feels a
you
little
know?
more organic too, like the production and everything.
Yeah, but we were talking about this being one of 2 tracks that was cut from the original vinyl version of the album, and that was one of my notes was that I could see why this one was cut.
Yeah, the one that bothered me to get cut was "Last Dance" because that's always been
a song so
a
good.
song that I really enjoy, and I would have enjoyed seeing like "Prayers for Rain" cut in favor of keeping "Last Dance" on. But hey,
Last Dance sounds like it's very like it fits in very well with the rest of this album.
Yeah, and I mean we can't question the tactics that our Uncle Robert employs when he sequences records. He usually does a good job.
Good job, Pappy.
My note on "Last Dance" was this might be the most depressing song on the record to me. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like I can hear the despair in one of the guitar parts. Like it's just like it's like. You know,
It's a song that I always associate with Christmas because he mentions Christmas in the song title. I got this album for Christmas, and that same Christmas I listened to this all the way through, like probably twice. So, yeah, I was a sad boy. It's all right. But yeah, so I always just associate this. Like as soon as I hear it, and like during the Christmas season, I frequently get the song stuck in my head, which is great. It's a nice little Christmas song
Great
that makes you
guitar
want to
stuff,
fucking
too.
off yourself.
Yeah.
I liked the guitar work on
Yeah,
that
the
one.
flangy. Yeah, I think that's Poral's
Poral.
stuff. Yeah.
All right. Where are we?
Moving right along to MVP.
MVP. We are at MVP already.
Damn.
Pyrrhic.
Wait, you did your least favorite?
Yeah, Homesick.
Oh, right. All right. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, if you paid attention to the program.
Yeah, I don't.
Wake up!
I'm just here.
I need a Serge Tankian wake up button. Wake up!
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
and just an occasional makeup.
My MVP moment. My
I'm here for.
MVP moment was the intro to Prayers for Rain. I just feel like it was. I really like the soundscape, the way it builds. Very, very much Joy Division. Kind of one of my. It's actually like a track I love to listen to with headphones, just because of the washiness of. It's kind of less about the song and more about the way the song sounds, the aesthetic of it that really sticks with me, and it's like what I want from The Cure, if that makes any sense. Like,
Yeah.
it's like worth the price of admission. I
This
think.
is what Robert Smith owes me.
Yeah, exactly. And there's like, just the like really super dark reverb on the drums and everything. I'm not usually a fan of super reverb drums, but it really kind of creates a nice effect.
Yeah, this is a very 80s sounding record for something that came out in 89.
Yeah.
I recorded a band one time, and like I'm sitting there, like I was like editing something or recording, and the band started being like, you know what I hate? I hate that really, really reverbed out drum sound from the 80s. And they were like, yeah. They were obviously hinting to me, like, don't do that.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, just fucking tell me you don't want me to fucking do it. I'm not going to do it to begin with, but just fucking tell me that.
Jim,
Instead of
you know what I really hate? When you don't make me sandwiches.
yeah.
I really hate that.
Sandwiches. Yeah, that's kind of passive aggressive.
That was such fucking bullshit. It was like right after I got out of school too, and like I did it for dirt fucking cheap.
Yeah.
And we did it in this kid's like uncle's basement, and I was like, all right, it's a basement. I was like, is it finished? He was like, no. I was like, is it concrete? Yeah. I was like, can you at least like hang up some blankets and shit so it's not like. No, they didn't do that. And then I recorded like 2 songs for them, and I found out that they had been a band for like a week. The bassist was like fucking throwing tantrums, like because he couldn't play his own parts that he wrote.
Oh my god.
And then they paid me, and then they went and talked a bunch of shit about how I fucked up all their recordings. I was like, well, you can all eat shit and die.
Do you have the multi-track still?
I might still have the final, but I don't think I have the multi-tracks.
Because I think that as an audio engineer, as someone who is recording someone's art, you should have the utmost of respect for the projects that you're working on and continue to have that respect after the fact. However, if they turn around and start bad-mouthing you, that respect has gone away at that point.
Right.
So from there, you should remix the fuck out of that.
You have evidence of how good they really are.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they don't exist anymore. They existed very briefly.
They're all dead.
They listened to this Cure album, and they just couldn't go on.
I heard that song that Robert Smith was singing about his cat. That's what I was thinking the whole time, was like, he's just singing songs about his cat. He just strikes me as that sort of fella.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see that. Rob, MVP moment.
Ooh, I'm gonna say Love Song. which feels weird. I feel like I'm doing that thing, but like, it's the hit song, whatever. But man, it's like, it's so catchy. It's so good. The song is just iconic. It's like a song at a time. It doesn't feel out of place off the album. Like I could hear it on the radio now in the anytime over the last like 30 years.
That's the cover of the 311 song.
Yeah.
We got a funny guy over here.
Can I actually tell a quick story about this song?
Yep.
All
right, story's over.
Yeah, it's great.
That was quick.
So what?
No, go ahead.
When I was a senior in high school, I don't know, for some reason I didn't have a lot of I had a lot more free time like to do extracurriculars because I had like I'd done the minimum amount of requirements or whatever to be able to do that. So I decided to like join theater for some reason, and I joined a production of As You Like It as the vicar. But they had me like play the Cure songs in between scenes. One of them being Love Song and Friday I'm in Love. I don't know. That was it.
Now, as the vicar, did you make a choice as an actor, a man on the stage, to have an erection like the priest in The Little Mermaid?
No, I did walk out with, on purpose, a piece of toilet paper on my shoe and like pretended that I had like shit all over it for the entire scene.
Jesus.
Yeah.
The priest had a boner? I didn't know that.
It's not pretending, it's acting.
Yeah, no, totally. If you do a Google image search for a Little Mermaid priest, I guarantee you will find what you're looking for.
Hold, please.
Have you not seen this?
I've seen the castle, like the underwater castle.
Yeah,
looks like dicks.
check out the priest. It's great. He's really enjoying that wedding.
Yeah.
Hey, can we go back and talk? Did you say Plain Song was the one that was
No. It's Love Song.
No, but what was the song that you didn't like?
Friday. Oh, no. Oh, what was the song I didn't like off this album? Plain Song.
Yeah, that's really weird to me. I mean, it's fine. You have your opinions. I felt like.
Well, that case is already closed. You should have brought it up earlier.
Well, it's in my head now. So.
All right. Well, fine. Let's reopen.
No, it's a good song. It's like it's so grandiose. I don't know. It feels like
It's a pretty bombastic, like.
It's such a great opener.
Yeah.
It feels like that heroine moment in a movie where like the heroine hasn't ruined their life yet. Like maybe the first or second time they do it and they're diving in the toilet or something.
Yep.
Like it just.
I really like Pictures of You. And
Oh,
for
so
some
you just want to
reason,
get to track.
I just
two.
want to
You're
get to
like,
that
let's
track.
go.
I just want to
Okay.
get to those
All right.
fucking wind chimes and like
Holy
rocking on
shit.
that. Yeah.
Well, when you're right, you're right. There's a gif. There's a gif of the boner here.
Dearly beloved. Yeah. Look at him go.
Wow.
It pops up too. So apparently the claim that the Disney people make is that it is his knee, but I don't know.
That's not his fucking knee.
Why would he be taking a knee like that?
I don't know.
So
What do you think was in particular was getting the priest so riled up? Do you think he just likes? Jesus Christ! Jim is just now looking for gifs of Disney cartoons that can be possibly sexual.
Oh, what was the sheepdog in that scene?
Maybe. I just didn't know if like he really enjoyed giving services, if he was like a fan of weddings, or I don't know. I was just curious because like it happened in the course of that scene as he was talking.
I mean, it
which
just
to
could
me
be
is very interesting.
It's a priapism. That's what it is.
Could be.
He took some Viagra earlier in the day and
Whoops, timing is off.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
it was a time release Viagra. Fuck, this wasn't supposed to go off yet.
They say a hernia is supposed to feel like your balls are in your knees, but I guess there's an opposite feeling with your knees are in your balls. Like what's?
Oh my
That's
goodness.
a really weird explanation.
Yeah, I want to go back to that. A hernia feels like balls are in your knees.
Your balls are down. That's what I heard someone describe it as one time.
Like the way the
I would
nerves
like to
spread
hear
throughout your body.
a remake of Pinocchio with Bobcat Goldthwait doing the voice of Pinocchio.
So, all right, here's a question for you. So at the end,
Me too.
So we're
Me too.
going down this path. I'm guessing that Pinocchio would be motion capture while he was a toy, correct? So Bobcat would play him at that point. Would Bobcat also play him as a real child at the end?
Yes.
No, Jim. I am an expensive producer. I'm a hotshot producer in Hollywood. You've given me your elevator pitch. I love it. I just need to know this detail before I can sign on the line. Is Bobcat Goldthwait going to play a human child?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Have you guys ever seen?
Here's $1 million.
Have any of you seen?
Finally.
Have you seen Hot to Trot? The movie he was in the '80s with the horse.
Yes.
I've never saw it.
I saw
only,
it in the 80s, so I
Yeah.
was like 8 maybe. I don't remember it, but I remember Hot to Trot. There were a lot of movies where like buddy cops with animals kind of deals around
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
or kids.
Yeah, it was like the Turner and Hooch canine
Yeah.
era.
Yeah, Mac and Me.
Mac and
Everyone's
Me.
favorite alien. McDonald's alien.
Jesus Christ. Can we go one goddamn episode without it coming up?
Dig, 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 dig. Yeah, word of the day. Always.
So, I learned something. Jesus.
It's like Yokio.
Oh, that's right.
Hey, Yokio!
So on the way over here, we were talking about McDonald's a little bit after I picked Rob up, and he said that he has not had McDonald's in 20 years.
Who's
true.
this?
This guy right here, the one sitting to your right.
Oh my goodness. Good for
Audience
you.
at home, you can't tell. We're sitting semicircular around a table here. No McDonald's in 20 years. Personal.
What about other fast foods?
I've done a few others, but personal vendetta. So
Okay.
Amazing.
personal vendetta.
Where did the vendetta come from? I need to know more about this.
It's 1998. It's been over 20 years now. It was September. It's been over 20 years, and I missed the anniversary. I wanted to announce it on Facebook about how great I am because it's been so long. But
You should have
I missed
celebrated
it.
by, admitting to being an old person and going there for a coffee and fish sandwich.
Oh God, well, that's a lovely combination.
Oh God, the shits must be gruesome for that. Coffee and fish.
I'm sure it's pure acid.
Oh God.
so this,
So
Yeah, it's like alien blood.
So I went to a Pearl Jam concert back in 1998.
Yield tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like Yield.
I didn't like it when
I
I didn't like Yield when it came out, but I love it a lot years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, Do the Evolution's a good track. I will.
Oh no,
I
it was
remember
it was
that
the
song.
it was the No Code tour.
Oh, okay.
It was the No Code tour.
That might be
Yeah.
longer then, because No Code, what was that, 96?
That was '96. Yeah.
Maybe it was the Yield tour. I just didn't have the newest album. Yeah, it could be. It was definitely 98. But I went to a Pearl Jam concert and brought a friend, and we'd been to some other like camp out festival thing like the night before, and this thing was going on the next day, but it was like kind of a local thing, and we're like, well, I bought these Pearl Jam tickets months ago. We should definitely go. We're having a good time at this other thing, but it's friends. It's cool. We don't mind missing this thing. So we go to this Pearl Jam concert, and got like $13 in my pocket, driving to Hartford, Connecticut, and get to the Meadows.
I mean, that could get you pretty far back in 1998. I think.
Gas was somewhat
$98.
less than $2 a gallon, I think, or something.
Sounds about right.
And but get there and they're charging twice as much for parking as usual. They're charging $10 for parking. Usually they charge $5 for parking. And if I spend $10 on parking, $3 is not going to get me the gas I need to get home.
Right.
So I parked in a McDonald's.
Oh.
Classic mistake.
Did you get towed?
I got towed.
Ronald McDonald. You asshole.
So you have a 20-year vendetta against McDonald's because you parked in their lot when you weren't supposed to.
I did call it a personal vendetta.
I see.
So that actually segues
You crossed
me.
the arches, man.
That segues me into. Sorry, were you not
Well,
done?
just I took my revenge out on the McDonald's at the time, and it all kind of worked out.
Oh God,
so
you shit in the fryer later, didn't you?
I would have been worried about backsplash, although that does sound fun to try to get away with somehow.
I feel like you lose no matter where you stand. Like if you stand up too high, you're gonna get like
the
the
right.
weight of 9.8 meters per second of the shit
Right.
hitting the fryer later. If you get too close, you're getting the fucking little spits of oil up your tuchus.
Yeah, or don't want to dip the boys either.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Forget it.
Why do they call him Rob Mr. Raw Grundle? Well, let me tell you.
I basically like Rocky Mountain oysters. I think it's eat fried balls. Anyway, sorry.
No, I was just a little. I was an angry little 17-year-old, and at the time that my car was missing, and well, I ended up going inside the McDonald's after the show, and there's a line out the door, and I'm like, fuck these guys, right? They have these ketchup and mustard pumps, so I'm just like, emptying them out on the counter because they towed my car, and then I took a piss on the McDonald's by the drive-thru, and then I started like uprooting their fucking garden and shit. Like,
Oh yeah.
really, really, really mature, Rob. Really mature.
yeah.
But it felt it it felt like the right thing to do at the time. Anyway, while I was uprooting their garden, me and my friend that were there kind of trying to figure out what to do with our lives now that we're stuck in downtown Hartford. We see some people from our high school driving through getting some food, so we ended up hitching a ride home from them before I had to harass
amazing.
my folks the next day to help me get my towed car back from free in Hartford. So good times.
Yeah, that's solid.
And I never ate McDonald's again.
Wow.
Yeah.
I went
Wendy's, right?
Yeah, I went to Wendy's on the way here, and so I got gas.
Did you get any of that finger chili? They got the
I didn't
finger
get any
chili
finger
there.
chili.
What's
But-
finger chili?
There was a thing several years ago where someone found a finger in their chili they got from Wendy's.
Yeah, but it ended up they ended up debunking it or something. It ended up being
it was-
like
No
she planted
way.
it.
That was a
anus.
real finger.
It was a real finger, but she put it there.
It was actually
Yeah.
just a really long toe, so it's no big deal.
Yeah, I have to say, there are exactly two things that I never want to find in my food. One is a fingernail that's separated from the finger, so not like a clipping of a
But
fingernail,
like the whole thing
But
with
like
the
the
red
whole
part
nail. Yeah.
would be the red part. Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah. So yeah, a fingernail, and worse than that, a tooth. Imagine taking a bite out of something and then you bite into another person's tooth.
Yeah, I don't mind biting down on a
No.
fingernail. I mean, it's going to be gross, but it's not going to break my teeth.
Yes.
Biting down on somebody else's tooth. Or even
And then you're gonna
maybe
just,
they
like-
lost a crown. You know, it could be porcelain. I don't want to bite that either.
Yeah, it's the kind of thing that I can see happening at like Bickford's. Like you get some scrambled eggs at Bickford's, and then you take a bite, and it's like, oh fuck, there's a tooth in this egg.
So
It's
anyway,
extra
Yeah,
calcium.
so tell us more about Wendy's.
I was like, you know what? I've worked really hard this weekend. I've been ripping up floors. I put up fucking blinds. I mowed the lawn. It's fucking hard work. So I was like, I'm gonna treat my body like shit tonight. And so I go to the drive-thru and I try to get a double cheeseburger, and I'm all excited, and I'm driving here, and I reach my hand to the bag, and I'm feeling around in the bag, and I'm like, all right, this feels smaller than it should be. But I'm like, all right, maybe I just have, because I haven't had one of these in a while, I don't remember, and maybe my hand has gotten bigger since then. So
yeah, you're always growing.
yeah, you're always growing.
Yeah, you don't stop growing.
So I open it and I take a bite out of it, and it's a fucking chicken sandwich. And it's not like one of the good chicken sandwiches. It's like the fucking Asiago Ranch chicken sandwich. Nobody fucking orders that shit.
What the fuck?
I have a question for you,
Not
Jim.
cool.
What have
Dude.
we learned?
What have I learned?
Yeah.
Stay the fuck away from Wendy's.
Yeah, stay away from
You
the
gotta
fucking
stay-
Wendy's
you gotta
on
stay
Robert,
on brand, man.
Robert Turner Boulevard on fucking in North Attleboro.
Oh wow, you're
Called
putting
you
a
out.
specific location
Oh
on
yeah,
blast.
so I pulled up.
one I always go to.
I pulled up the Yelp reviews here. Some of these are fucking great.
Jeez.
Yelp reviews of Wendy's. Here we go. Here we go.
So this one's great. This is the worst. No soap in the bathroom. At least 7 staff people standing around doing nothing when I told them the issue. Before we left, I double checked 15 minutes later, and of course, nobody has refilled the soap.
Where am I going to get shit on my hands this whole time?
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what I was about.
This one. It is very convenient. It's fast, clean, and friendly, but I will no longer go to this location. They seem to never get my order correct. It is never a special order, and I've screwed up at least 8 times.
Wow.
It's sad because I love their food.
That is tragic. I love their food.
man.
I want to see the chef.
There's something
Can I
about
please
the
be
square
chef?
burger that just gives extra flavor. I don't know, man.
And it's always fresh and juicy. I love a fresh and juicy burger.
After giving this place the 3rd try, it has continued to disappoint. Totally inept behind the counter. We placed a very specific order at the kiosk, expecting that this time it would come out correct. No, it did not. Upon
Holy
opening
shit.
our food in the car, 3/4 of the order was incorrect. When I went inside with my receipt to show the error, they looked confused. It took an additional 10 minutes for them to get the food out to us. I would recommend to go somewhere else for a burger.
Oh my God. I would recommend taking that 10 minutes and just eating the goddamn sandwich and getting the fuck out of there.
Oh yeah,
dude,
I mean,
it's
I
fucking
ate
Wendy's.
the chicken sandwich. I hated every second of it, but I still ate it.
All right, so
Drive-through, you're on the road,
just
right?
just so we can
Yeah.
keep things balanced with our future sponsor, which is the McDonald's at 250. What is your street again? Pine Street.
No, Maple Street.
Maple Street. I knew it was one of
50
them.
Maple Street. One of the
It's a
trees.
damn
Yeah,
tree.
the McDonald's at 250 Maple Street in Marlboro. If you need to get in touch, it's 508-485-8547. So I pulled up their Yelp right here.
Let's
and,
call them right now.
Can
we do an
talk to
a live
Patrick.
on-air call?
Yeah.
I am a little nervous. We should definitely set that up in the future. I'm a little nervous, though, because the McDonald's closest to you only has 2 stars on Yelp. out of 14 reviews.
Yeah. It's not a very good McDonald's.
So this one,
They constantly fuck up my order.
Well, here's our
What is
review
this
from
complicated shit you guys are ordering?
This is from Mark D. Never again. I will drive across town to the Wendy's before I ever go back here. And yes, the Wendy's is right across the street from the other Marlboro McDonald's. I don't even know where to start. Ellipses.
That's it. He didn't know where to start, so he didn't.
I don't know where to start, so I'm not
gave
gonna.
it ... Yeah.
here's a positive review, and this is hilarious because this guy's Yelp icon is Fat Bastard from Austin Powers. And this thing is like riddled with spelling errors. Wendy's is the best fast food place, hands down. Not big on fast food or chains, but Wendy's is a good fix when you want a quick meal. This restaurant
A
spelled
good fix when you want a quick meal. That sounds horrifying.
this restaurant spelled completely wrong. Is very clean, and the group that work there are very polite and fast.
I take exception to the fact that he calls it a restaurant.
Yeah, of course.
I take exception to the fact that anyone would take anywhere from like 30 seconds to any longer amount of time to write a Yelp review for fucking McDonald's.
Somebody
or
wrote
Wendy's or Burger King.
a suggestion. Orange High C would be a nice drink they could add.
A nice drink they could add.
You know what? I have a lot going on in my day today, but one thing I gotta do, I gotta go to Yelp and just let this Wendy's know that I would love it if they had orange iced tea. It'd be helpful.
This person spelled singles wrong, so it says, how hard it this? It just starts off with, this is a negative review. How hard is it? 2 dingles with bacon, 2 large fries, a medium vanilla frosty, 6-piece nugget. Apparently extremely since we didn't get the
lost all
nuggets. and
legitimacy.
I
when
just
you
want
said-
my dingles with bacon.
It all comes back to the wrap and go.
Yeah, I was going to say, just want my dingle and go.
Yeah, we discussed it before on this podcast, but I'll give you the quick rundown. Danielle and I were behind a woman at McDonald's once who kept insisting that she just wanted her wrap and go, which is not an actual product that Dunkin' Donuts sells.
It's the fucking... Oh, God, now I forget. I fucking forget the name of it because I keep calling it a wrap and go now.
I just want my wrap and go.
It's like the go wrap or something, right?
Not even. It's like a wake up wrap.
Wake up wrap, thank you. That's what it is. There's nothing about
Not
go.
Not wrap
Wake
and go.
up wrap.
I love when people just insist on calling things by the wrong name, though. That's very good.
Yeah, it's always very good.
This is from Jim H. in regards to McDonald's at 250. Sigh. You know, I try to be fair, and I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but this is really pushing it. How does a number 1, a number 2, and a kid's meal turn into 2 number 1s and a missing fry order? Especially after repeating the order at the drive-thru. I can't speak for the service inside, but this is the 3rd and last time that this happened at the drive-thru.
Listen.
There is a Burger King much closer to me that I am perfectly happy with. I mean, just as an aside, he didn't write this, but I'm going to say that man's an asshole if he's
You're
comfortable
not
saying those
perfectly
words.
happy with it because you're going to the McDonald's because you don't like the Burger King.
Well, yes.
Like, nobody wants that sesame bun.
Nobody
wants that
perfectly
sesame
happy.
bun.
No.
If you can't get an order right after I repeated myself and then waited in a slow drive-through lane, then I'm done. 3 users marked it as useful, 1 marked it as funny, and 2 marked it as cool.
Very cool. So, you know, like,
cool.
But like, fuck this dude because like he doesn't like the sort of like creative reinterpretation of his order. Like, if you're not down with that, then I guess you're just not down with anything.
They didn't serve me breakfast at 10:29. I just can't handle this.
Well, you're
Where
in
else
luck,
are you
my
gonna
friend.
get
They serve
breakfast?
breakfast all day now.
Oh man.
Yeah.
That was a dated joke, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
You haven't been keeping up with the McDonald's news.
That's what happens when you don't go for over 20 years.
They have
Look, I have no need for those assholes and their arch deluxes.
a McDLT.
I am only writing this in hopes that some crew member or manager of this location will read that. This is the first sentence of the review, so that I think that's grammatically incorrect.
Was it part of the title?
No, that's just the first line.
All right.
They need to all learn to make coffee as ordered. I get my morning coffee here daily because McDonald's just has the best wake-me-up coffee.
It's pretty good coffee, to be honest.
It's
Newman's Own.
Newman's Own is actually
I actually
pretty decent.
preferred their pre-Newman's Own coffee because I used to work for my dad a lot in the South. Like at hospitals and stuff over the weekend, and on Sundays in some towns in the South, like McDonald's is the only place open where you can get a coffee. So yeah, I prefer the old recipe, but anyway.
That's true. They don't do it down south.
But
They don't do
often,
the coffee.
It's made wrong, and I drink it anyway. Clean facility and nice staff. Also, on one occasion, I ordered a Big Mac extra sauce and received a Big Mac no sauce. What? All caps. Apparently, there are communication issues at this McDonald's. So,
Apparently.
Do you guys want to manage a McDonald's as a social experiment?
That would be pretty fun.
We were talking about doing the one with the jungle animals.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
That's right.
Oliver the chimpanzee would be the manager.
Yeah, we were going to open up one in the jungles of Africa or on the savannah maybe, and we're going to staff it with animals and try to train animals to be clientele as well.
I'm into it.
And they serve animals as food.
The goal, the goal is to get the animals in that region as sick as the animals in Disney's Wild Kingdom.
I know, those poor bastards just look. How
Hey,
they
let's
doing?
take a polar bear and have it in Florida. That's cool, right?
Let's put them in a concrete cave.
No, Ben.
Jim, MVP moment.
My MVP moment is going to be the reverse piano at the end of Prayers for Rain.
Ooh. Any reason in particular?
I just really like the sound of a back reverse piano. I don't know, it's just really
It's a
cool
nice
sound.
effect.
Yeah, I can dig that.
Yeah.
For me, the MVP moment is the climax of Fascination Street. So after the instrumental break and the vocals come back in, that whole section of the song just fucking slays. That is my MVP moment.
Good shit.
Patrick, what is your comparable album?
Comparable album. I'm gonna go with Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness. Smashing Pumpkins.
Okay, you'll have to elaborate on that.
A little bit. I mean, just probably because they're both double albums. I think Disintegration is much better. But like just the combination of the like hit singles and more experimental tracks. That's what I was thinking. That's it.
Cool. Rob!
Drumsticks.
Drumstick.
Hello. Comparable album. This is always one of those weird things, but we're closing out the 80s. I'm gonna start out the 80s. I'm gonna say comparable album is Prince 1999.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And it's really just the whole just the 80s dance thing, and it's like it's a totally different vibe, but it's just there's a coherence there at the beginning and the end of the decade that is just you can't find it any other time.
I would say that there's a lot of like 8-9 minute tracks on that record.
Yeah.
On that, it's a double record as well. That's actually a good comparison to make.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought of that. Hi.
Hey.
What's up? What's yours?
Oh, my comparable album is going to be 1972's Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust. Because I, like I mentioned, I'm not that familiar with The Cure, and I kind of heard some hints of Bowie in there. So
Interesting. Yeah, man, fair enough. Myself, I'm going to go with Antichrist Superstar by Marilyn Manson.
Explain yourself.
I just listened to both of those albums a real lot around the same time, and they're just they're just kind of inextricably linked in my brain hole.
Ooh.
brain
you had one of those too?
hole.
Yeah,
Good.
I used to live with a dude who had a hole in his skull from a skating accident when he was a kid.
So did he be like, touch my skull?
He did, yeah. I touched it
times,
once,
yeah.
and it was fucking. I still think about it every now
Can
and
you
then.
feel his brain?
Every night.
It was soft. That's all I know.
Oh.
It was like a quarter-sized soft spot.
So if he like gets hit there, will he die?
I mean, he potentially could, yeah. All I know is that I touched it, and then he couldn't do math after.
Where was it? What part of
Did
his...
he know you were
was
gonna
on-
touch it? Did
on the
he
top of his
offer,
skull.
or were you
Wow.
just kind of like
He
"Take
insisted.
that, algebra"?
He insisted.
Okay.
Take that out. Hey, you don't need that.
Yeah,
let
no.
me try
One
to
day,
rub
like
it back
as
in.
soon as it came up, he's like, "Oh yeah, I have a hole in my skull from an accident when I was a kid." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And he's like, "Touch it. It's right here." And I'm like, "I don't know if I want to." He's like, "No, touch the spot." And yeah,
And it keeps asking you to touch it after you've already touched it because he forgets every time that you touch it.
Hooked up a little hand vac to it, trying to get the math back.
Ooh, yeah, there you go. So it just like sinks further into your brain. You got to suck it back out. That's how that works, right?
Yeah, I'm just
Obviously.
imagining him using like one of those Harry Potter wands that they use to like take memories away. Except he's like taking it and just digging into his brain and using it incorrectly.
I wonder if he can make himself come. Like,
he can.
no, but I mean, like it's called poking his
masturbation.
soft spots.
Poking his soft spots.
Again, yes, he can.
Yeah, it's called the prostate.
Patrick, what's your rating?
So I'm gonna give this an 8 out of 10. I think this is my favorite Cure album. I'm not like I kind of go back and forth with the Cure, where I really dig the aesthetic of the band, but sometimes the songs just are a little too sparse, repetitive for me. But I think that this album in particular gives me, well, like I said, it gives me what I want from Robert Smith. It's so it has all the elements that I want it to have, and the songs that I like on here are super strong. They're some of the band's best fucking songs.
Yeah, it just touches the soft spot in your skull in the right way.
Oh yeah, totally, and my prostate. Yeah, 8.
All right, Rob, rating 1 to 10, integers only, no pitchfork decimal type things here.
Oh man, you totally just killed my answer. I'm gonna go.
a 0.75.
I was gonna say like 8 to 9. I was gonna say 8.5, but I'll go 8. I think for a lot of the similar reasons Patrick said. Also, The Cure is not my favorite band, but this is definitely like the album. If you're gonna listen to anything by this band, I mean it's kind of classic.
Yeah.
You could. I don't know. I don't know. I feel like I said earlier. I feel like Love Song is kind of timeless. I don't know what the whole album is. You can definitely put it in a time period. But yeah. Well, I'm going 8. I think it's really strong. It really just it's got its It's just one of those. It's one of those things you think about when you think of the 80s. It's like this album's right.
Very
up there.
iconic.
Yeah, very
got that
iconic.
sort of Library of Congress quality to it, I guess.
Not this Congress.
Yeah.
Jim,
Anyway.
what you got?
This is going to get a 7 from me. It would get an 8 if the songs were a little shorter, I think. Like, I mean, as like what you two touched on, there's a lot of kind of repetitive shit going on and some really long intros that I think could be cut out, and this could get an 8. But like I said, this is my first time listening to this.
Yeah,
So.
I initially agreed with you. The first few times I heard this album, I was like, yeah, this could be, and especially because my introduction to The Cure was I got Galore, which is one of their singles collections. And a lot of the single versions, like Pictures of You, the single edit is like 4 minutes and change, not 7 something. So when I started listening to the full album for the first time, I was like, this is pretty long. I don't know about this. But it's at the point now where I prefer the album version like infinitely over the single version. So yeah, I get where you're coming from, but I think just after enough listens, I got used to it and really liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I liked a lot of the textural stuff. I mean, that's something I kind of dig when it comes to albums and things like that. But like you said, it's probably going to take me a couple listens before I really.
Yeah, in terms of textures, it's definitely something that you can tell was hallucinogen induced.
It has. I mean, the band. They're not a jam band per se by any stretch, of course.
No.
But they definitely have that quality to them where it sounds like these assholes probably just like light a bunch of candles and incense in a room and jam shit out for 20 minutes.
Check YouTube for clips of their unplugged performance.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen it.
Oh, okay. They're all like sitting Indian style on pillows and like playing acoustics.
Yeah,
the drummer has like tablas and bongos and
Oh
shit.
yeah, it's very cute.
Nice. I think I need to watch that.
It actually sounds pretty great.
It is actually a pretty decent performance. Myself, I'm going to give it a 10. This, along with Kid A, is one of my probably top 5 albums of all time. Kid A and Spiderland, both of which we've covered here.
Wow.
Yeah, this to me is a fucking masterpiece.
You gave Anima a 10 as well.
Oh, I did. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right. Yeah, I'm very 10 happy lately. I'm in a good mood. I don't know what it is. It must be the fact that it's no longer fucking balls hot outside.
Yeah.
Life is good again.
Yeah, so it gets a 10 from Chaboy. Yeah.
Is this your favorite Cure album?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. A couple others come close. Kiss Me is really good. Bloodflowers is really good. Pornography is great.
I like Wish quite a bit.
Wish is very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they actually have a good amount of good albums in their catalog. But
Their
yeah,
first album is kind of fun too.
Oh yeah, Three Imaginary Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fun
Totally
one.
different feel, but like
Yeah,
it's
back
fun
when they
to go
were
back.
sort of like just a punk band.
Yeah.
Patrick, you got anything going on? Anything you want to talk about?
What are we doing? What are we middle of October now?
Yeah, this will drop the 15th.
Yeah, so I don't think I have anything going on. Just stay tuned. Probably going to be some new music coming from Smell at some point in the near future. And I don't know. Follow me on Twitter, cat_SB for more comedy bronze. Yeah, that's about it.
Rob, what you got going on?
Playing a gig a couple of nights after this is officially dropped. You said the 15th for
15th, this is the...
I am playing on October 18th at the Once at Once in Somerville. Let's see, we're playing the lounge, not the ballroom this time.
Oh, cool.
Gonna be playing with Parlour Bells and playing guitar with them, and
Nice.
should be a really good time. We're playing with Stars Like Ours and
Oh, nice.
Stars Like Us.
Stars Like Ours, yes, and I forget the other band. I think it was Exit 18 or something. Do you guys know them? I hope I'm saying the right thing. If I'm not, sorry guys. And then I think it's just the three of us unless something gets added. So
Exit 18. Are they a band out of like Duxbury or something?
could be. I don't know.
Were they a punk band?
I haven't done my homework.
No, I know how that is.
It's been a busy month or whatever. But
Yeah, which is nuts because you're basically rear windowing it right now.
right. Well, yeah. All I have time for is telescoping into other people's apartments. I mean,
All right, what are you doing
Hobble
with that
over to the
knife over
telescope
there?
on your crutch and...
right. But yeah, it's gonna be a good time. So everybody, come on out.
Fuck yeah.
Jim, what do you got going on?
Not too much. I fucking blew it on my streak of drum videos a day. I made it up to 120, and then I fucked myself.
That was a great video. I love
Yeah,
that one.
I think that video confused some people who
That
were
was-
looking
I
for
think that's
drums.
why you got pulled from Instagram.
That
Are we
would have
still
been a
talking
great.
about the prostate over here?
That would have been a great finale. It's like just it's a video of me getting ready to start playing drums, and it just cuts to me like, never mind.
Out of your
so
asshole.
basically, you're saying go out in the like chat roulette-esque blaze of glory.
Just
Well, you can
goatsy
still-
right on
You
out.
can still follow me if you want at Metadrummer, METADRUMMER. And I think that's it. Also, I've been watching the new season of Big Mouth, and if you want to watch a really, really uncomfortable cartoon, check that fucking
You know what?
show out.
I thought I was going to hate that show, and then I watched it. It was like, it was smarter than I thought it was
Yeah,
going to be.
it's
It
fucking
actually
hilarious,
like
too.
is really hilarious.
Yeah.
John Mulaney and Nick Kroll are
Yeah.
funny dudes.
Yeah.
I've been enjoying very much Travels with My Father on Netflix. It's
Yeah.
Jack Whitehall, a British comedian, travels with his dad, who is a very prim and proper older English gentleman who very much likes his way of life the way it is. And he takes him on a trip to Southeast Asia, and hilarity ensues. And it is bone dry fucking humor.
Oppressively dry.
It is a very dry sense of humor throughout, but it is incredible. If that's your scene at all, definitely check it out.
I think the moment that made me crack up the most in that first episode was when they go to Thailand and he's getting like handed the scorpions and he's like, no, that is not what I want at all. Something like that. That's not what I was looking for at all.
Yeah, his phrasing is just phenomenal. I was hoping I could take advantage of this time to teach Jack that there's more to life than making jokes about his penis.
Good shit.
Yeah, and I mentioned on the last episode, but I put out an ambient album called Computer Music for Reading and Study.
I listened to it, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
It's
Did you?
You're a real Hans Zimmer over there. I'll
Oh
tell ya.
yeah. Thanks.
No, I enjoyed it. I'm serious.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, Computer Music for Reading and Study. You can get it at christophergbrown.bandcamp.com, or it's on Spotify or iTunes or all the other bullshit.
I
that
listened
don't
to
pay
it
out
on
as well.
iTunes.
Oh, nice. Well, I'm gonna get those residuals in.
Yeah.
It's gonna be probably 12 cents.
Try not to spend it all in one place.
I won't. Although I did, I spent the bump that I got in royalties from the Joy Division video. I got that happened right at the turning point of a quarter. So I linked to all my bands on it and everything, and I got a bunch of actual royalty bumps from it, from people actually like grabbing stuff, streaming stuff, or whatever. So the first quarter, I got the Jurassic Park soundtrack on vinyl with my with my earnings, and then the following quarter, I got the cheapest Patch Bay money could buy.
Oh, yeah, I'll talk to you after this.
All right. So that about does it for us here at Old Men in Cloud. Old Men Yell at Cloud.
Old Men in Cloud.
Old Men in Cloud.
That's kind of a...
Yeah, I'm just picturing the
Dead
little
people.
fucking
Dead old
Lakitu.
people.
Was it Lakitu from
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers that throws like the little spiny guys up from the cloud?
No, we're all just vaping. Fucking hardcore right now.
Yeah, vape is life, brah.
Yeah, totally. I actually do have a vape pen now, so now I've reached my hipster final form with the fucking man bun and the glasses, and now I have a vape pen.
Oh,
Just fucking kill me.
there was actually a line in the latest fucking Big Mouth where Jay's mom is like, well, I know it. She said something like, I know it wasn't you and it wasn't your brothers because they're both off at vape college right now.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for joining in. Rob, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. This
Yeah,
was fun.
this is fun.
So this is Christopher.
This is Patrick.
This is See You in Hell.